$323,000, and it's just sitting there. The number one most banned prop firm trader with $6.7 million in funding.
It's the truth. 95% of traders lose. And I don't know why people are not transparent with that. This guy, I saw he made like a lot of money with gold, like a big payout, and then he started selling a course. Like you've seen all the guys in the training industry, most of them make more money from businesses, which is like the reality.
Through achievements comes experience, and through experience comes wisdom. So therefore, Andrew is able to express real knowledge, real information for what it takes to truly make it in the Forex markets.
Like for me, I don't really feel the trading money, because like you can have a very good month and then you can have like 3 bad months. Like what happens then?
At what milestone of income where you felt like happy, satisfied, comfortable with your living standard?
Comfortable living? Well, there's a study that says that most people don't become successful because 60% of the mind is occupied with a survival mindset. And that's why a lot of people don't become successful, because they're stressed. They get into the rat race, and then it's like month after month after month.
When you're scaling to large capital, obviously there's the approach that you did, which was a fairly aggressive approach. But now looking back, was that the best approach, or is there better ways you could have done it to go from 0 to 1 million in funding?
If you think about it,
ladies and gents, welcome back to another video. Well, Andrew, the man is back. Probably one of the most viewed episodes, I think.
yeah, the fourth one.
Fourth. And it's still going, bro. It's going to reach 200K views in no time. And I mean, we know your history. $6.7 million in funding, a lot in payouts, and pretty much living the dream, man, freedom-wise. And you've done the supercars, you've done the diamond watches, and maybe moving out to Dubai. There's a lot of cool things happening. But I just saw something on your phone.
Yeah.
What do you want to show us?
So I want to show proof of, you can watch it and scroll it on the right.
I'll do a screen recording so my editor can throw it on.
On the right side, you can see the balance going up.
Yes.
It's like the mobile app is pretty shared.
So basically, all I'm seeing on the screen right now is pay now, withdraw, pay now, withdraw, pay now, withdraw. And then the numbers 1K, 2K, 2K, 4K, 2K, 1K, 3K, 6K. What does this tally up to? Okay, so growing balance. Okay, when I scroll all the way to the top, $323,000 in payments, like withdrawals you haven't taken.
Yeah.
And it's just sitting there.
Yeah, because that was the goal. That was the goal. I was like, because the first transaction was was in December. So when Rise was introduced by a lot of prop firms.
So from December to now, July
6
2nd,
months, basically.
6 months, 300K. Bro,
and
incredible.
no, it's like 400K. So there was a 100K withdrawal there. So like 450.
Okay.
And that's like 70% because I get some crypto, some bank transfer, not all prop firms use. But yeah, that was the thing. I was just, let's create because Rise is public. Like I have an address. You can search it up.
Like a blockchain, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, which is great, right? So that was my thing, is just put it out there and see how much it grows in 6 months. And yeah,
well, first of all,
crazy.
massive congrats. Second of all, the time duration is epic, man. To take that much, you're talking quadruple in neurosurgeon's salary sitting in a wallet. But what's interesting as well is we mentioned off camera, it was 100K more previously because you had a bit of an incident in Romania. So what happened there?
So I wanted to buy last time I was gonna get my second supercar, and just got a big life lesson out of it, to never trust the guys that pretend to be these big guys, a lot of supercars, bringing cars, whatever, because that's what I did. I want to get an Urus, pay the deposit in like January, so 6 months ago. And the car didn't come until like last month or something, and then it vanished. So I couldn't...
what do you mean vanished?
I mean, I never saw the actual car. It's like, it's here, and then he stopped replying, and that's about it. Yeah, he first said he's gonna give me back my deposit, all of that, trusted, kept trying to play it nice. But it just shows that the lesson that I got from that is that never ever trust anyone without having like a proper contract, like with everything, put it in there, so you have some grounds to maybe play it. But
was it a payment through crypto, I guess, or did you build
it
a
bank account? No, it was a bank account, but still it's very hard to get your money back with stuff like that. If you don't have like a proper contract, like it wasn't delivered in this time, you can get your deposit back. It's very hard to go. So now you have to wait 6 months, a year and a half.
There's still 350K sitting there. What are you planning to do with that?
Haven't thought about it. I'll probably gonna I don't know when this is going to be posted, maybe in like a month. So maybe I can talk about that.
Go
But
ahead.
I'm launching my own prop firm. So that's going to be the liquidity that I want to put into the firm.
Okay.
So around 500K, just to have it there sitting for the, the first traders that get paid out.
More to say, a lot of platforms we've seen have started to crash, and you've had probably the most extensive
Oh, yeah.
experiences with every prop firm. And the biggest thing I see is firms are collapsing because they don't have enough liquidity. So having 500 there on the side is an epic way to start.
Yeah.
What is the things you've seen in the big prop firms? I mean, you've had experience with the biggest to the smallest, but with the major firms that you see as issues that you would like to resolve, or something that really frustrated you that inspired you to make your own firm?
Don't want to be really promoting, but I think because when you run through a lot of, so let's say you want to open like a dental cabinet or something. If you work for like 5 years in different, clinics, you get to learn how things go. And then when you start your own, you already know like everything.
With experience,
right? You have that experience. So I think I've seen it all because I've traded with all the prop firms. So I've seen what works, what really doesn't, how clients are happy, how traders are happy, how you grow as a firm. So I took a lot of that and kind of thought about a way to make the best thing for traders. So a couple of that is like the safety of getting paid. That's the biggest issue, right? Nowadays, you don't even know if you're going to get paid. Like I have still like 60, 70K in pending payouts from prop firms that can't pay out, right? So I think that's the number one, which is the safety of, you have your payout date in 7 days or 14 days, you're going to get paid out. So that's the first thing that I'm trying to fix, like every payout, no deniers, not everything. And the second one is...
So out of the dozens and dozens of prop firms that exist in the whole space, who can we really trust? Whether they use slippage, whether they use types of drawdown, unrealistic trading conditions, every single prop firm has hidden tricks. So after thorough research and speaking to a lot of traders, Alpha Capital is definitely the best prop firm in the space. So apart from their no commissions, low spread, no slippage, great reputation, never denying a payout, because you are a Titans of Tomorrow viewer, you get a special discount on every evaluation just using the link or using the code TOT for Titans of Tomorrow.
Have very clear rules, which I've seen now lately a lot of prop firms are introducing. They keep changing, people are unhappy, but then it's like, all right. So I want to start off with just having the clear rules, no hidden rules. So like you respect the rules, you don't do any shady stuff, cheating, because I've actually I didn't know this, but there's a lot of cheaters in prop firms.
Well, what was also interesting to me, like because I've keep my eyes on the ground or ears on the ground, and I've seen certain prop firms that like everybody loves, and everyone's like, he's the best, this firm's the best, and then the things change so quick. And there's a certain firm that just 2 months ago when we last spoke was like top 3, top 5, everyone loves them, Twitter, everyone's supporting them. I blink my eyes, I look at my Twitter again, and I was like, this is the worst prop firm. Because they changed like 10 things overnight. It was also to the fragility of the model. As a business model itself, like I don't think any founder of a prop firm really intends to screw people over. It's just they are forced to because they don't manage their business very well, their money very well, and they're thrown into a corner, and to survive they have to throw bad rules and in the end scam people, which is a shame of the space. So with your journey, because your journey is like when a trader starts out, they want to emulate the journey probably that you've done, which is, I don't know anything about trading, you look online, you look to learn, and then you go to prop firms, you get the capital that you can, and then put it to use, whether that's in business, whether that's in investments, maybe a live account. So we've well documented your journey to funded, probably $1 million in payouts, and working with a prop firm. But I want to talk about the journey after that point, because I think you've spoken on many podcasts, even on this show, people know your history. But what happens when you're $1 million in payouts? Your life has changed compared to where you started off, and your goals have been pretty much met, probably beyond what you may have thought. What happens when you have that much liquidity come in a fairly short duration? Is it to put it into a live account and trade that, or how are you managing the liquidity that you've got?
So far, I'm not really doing anything with it because I'm not one of those guys who start getting money and then go crazy with it. I think that's a very bad idea. And I've been well educated enough to know that once I get the money, it's best to just keep it, look for opportunities. And when you see a good opportunity, that's when you deploy your liquidity. So long term, like trading is a very good way to make, let's say, 100K a month. If you really reach that point, like 50, 100K a month, every single month, like be consistent with it, that's very good money. And then you start decreasing your stress with trading. So you go like burned, you start swing trading, or you find systems that don't take out that much of your time, which is what I'm doing now. And then either you stop there and just like keep growing, but the truth is you can't really grow that much more. Like,
because there's not enough firms anymore to...
Yeah, not really platforms. The other way you need to go about is having like a hedge fund. And I watched the podcast with Risardar, which is a great way to expand, right? Which is what I want to do maybe towards the end of the year or maybe next year, to start doing that. Because I love trading. I'm probably going to trade my whole life. And that's the only way to start growing to bigger numbers. But I do believe like businesses are the best way to take you from 100K to even more. Like you've seen all the guys in the training industry, most of them make more money from businesses, which is like the reality. So now it's just like want to grow the platform, create solutions. I already did the education company, which has been amazing, to be honest. That takes a lot of stress from my trading and helps me grow more. So it's like the perfect circle. You're a trader, you teach people, and then you help them actually get funded.
And they all feed into each other. The better you get at teaching, the better you probably get at trading as well, because you understand things better. You know, this whole thing, that I'm glad you mentioned it, because a lot of my guests on the show are social media people. Some of them are very qualified, made a lot of money from trading. Other end of the spectrum, questionable. But one thing in common between all of them, from the questionable to the most profitable and everyone in between, they all make money from other areas in the industry, whether that's affiliates, whether that's social media revenue, whether that's education, there's a long list. Signals, I don't know. There's so many ways. Bots, let's not get into that.
I mean, it's the truth, right? 95% of traders lose. Like, there's a lot of money in the industry outside of trading profits. And I don't know why people are not transparent with that. Like, I make money from trading.
That was my question, is if there's people that are making money from the space, I feel like regardless, even I had a lunch with Bern today, and man, he's made a lot of money from trading. He's as qualified as someone can be. And he was I could tell he was like, man, people still call me a course seller. I'm like, you barely promote. I didn't even know you had something to sell. Plus how much you've done in trading. And I think maybe it speaks to the mindset of a lot of people. What is your thoughts on the audience, let's say, who feel some kind of way to people that make money from the industry and make money from trading, and they still feel like, oh, that's a scam, that's not right?
I mean, it's up to them, really. Like, if you think that, you're not going to be successful anyways. Like, a lot of people who join my academy, to be honest, and they ask this type of questions, or they're not really looking into how I actually trade and try to learn. I just refund them and get them out, because I don't want that stress.
That energy,
that bad energy. It's just, I'm already trading, and it's the same thing. Like, it's exactly the same thing. So I don't really understand the mentality. I mean, I guess if you don't have a lot of money, that's how you think. It's like, oh, this guy is a course seller. But if you actually prove your skills, like Bern did, like I did, like actually show, I get paid out, I made this amount of money trading, then I think you're qualified enough to actually sell a service, other than, some guys that pop up and make a big money. There was this guy I saw, he made like a lot of money with gold, like a big payout, and then he started selling a course, and then like done. No more payouts, no more nothing. And that's just shady, but you have to choose the right people to follow.
Yeah. So what I find interesting is, because I've spoken to, I don't know how many episodes I've had, but in my personal life and also on camera, I've spoken to so many successful people, so many people that are even way above me. And I like to notice not only what they're saying, but how they think and the mindset that they have. And between, let's say, the normal people I know and the mindsets they have, people that work a normal job, people that are still in university and school, the mindsets that they have and the mindsets that the more successful people have, I really see them as completely different things. Like, sometimes I think like they're not the same. Obviously they're human, but not the same. And it's no surprise that they end up in these successful situations, because just something that I notice about you, that you have achieved probably what you set out to do. And when there's a lot of traders in the space, the comment you made of 50 to 100K a month is very achievable. That's like someone's dream and then some. Some people just try to make 5K a month. And they'll be like, I made my trading objectives. So when you're like so far ahead, but I don't see you even thinking about stopping, thinking about slowing down, thinking about relaxing. It's just like, okay, what can I do next? How can I grow? And that's a mindset, because a lot of people, if you give them 50K a month, man, they're in Barbados living life. So what is it inside you? Maybe you didn't have it in your younger self. Maybe it's always been there. But what attributes or mindsets do you have to fuel this life, to fuel growth, and to fuel this feeling of never satisfied, never stopping, just always going, always growing? And that's led you to this point, and it'll also lead you to where you're going in the future.
I don't want this to get the wrong way of saying, but it's like once you start making this amount of money, let's say like $500,000 a year, you realize it's not actually that much money. You know what I'm saying, right? Because it's actually not a lot. Like you see people doing a lot more.
Bro, it depends where you live, man. Because I was just now in Bali. I mean, I'm stuck in the Dubai matrix. All I see is Bugattis, Lamborghinis, Richard Milles, and that's my exposure. So that fuels me. That's like, okay, I'm nothing. I've still got so much to learn, so much to grow, so much to achieve. And then I go to Bali, not a logo in sight. Everyone's in flip-flops and vests and caps and the mopeds. And I was there too.
Happy, right?
And they're happy. I was there. I was happy. I wasn't thinking about a car. I wasn't thinking about anything. So I figured it out, bro. I got a get rich quick scheme. It's just make 2K a month and move to Bali. And you live like a king. And you probably have more mental peace, more freedom, more buying power than a guy in Dubai who's making 50K a month. So it's probably your environment as well, which is...
But then it's up to everyone, right? What you want to achieve. Some people are happy with 2K, 5K, 10K, 20K is a lot. You can live very good almost anywhere in the world. Yeah, you can go to Bali, Phuket or Thailand, somewhere there, and be very happy. And actually, sun all the day, cheap food, cheap accommodation, you're very happy, right? But I mean, I'm 25 and you're also pretty young. So are we really going to stop now? Yeah. It's like, why not keep growing now and then chill later? So that's why I love Dubai, because there's so many levels to this game. And for me, it's like, trading brings me that, education brings me that, but that's just based on my skill. If I stop trading, everything is going to go down, right? So that's why I want to start actually building businesses, having teams, having employees, to build more and to grow in different areas, because that's when you actually feel that money. Like for me, I don't really feel the trading money, because like you can have a very good month and then you can have like 3 bad months. Like what happens then, right? So that's why I think that's the next step once you actually become a good trader. And I think that's the next step for every entrepreneur, because even if trading is a stepping stone, you said that a lot, right? Or other businesses, maybe, social media marketing or drop shipping. Those are all stepping stones. They start bringing you money, and then you look to deploy that money, get connections, build more, and actually have businesses that run well for a few years, and we're talking years now, and then maybe potentially selling that business, growing in different areas. So that's just my goal, is to actually, have that business.
So the vague concept that I've understood, and this is just from thinking and also speaking to a lot of high-level people, is we can look at it like a 3-step ladder. Obviously, there's a lot more complexity, but the 3 steps is like you need an introductory skill set. That can be anything. That can be, as you said, social media marketing, email marketing, everything. Sales. It can be trading. It can be so many things. But the whole thing there is like, it's fairly cheap to get in. You don't need a whole tech team. You start off with a skill set, a little bit of money, and it's your time and hard work and skill set that's going to pay you. But then that's going to reach a cap, as you said. Unless you now go to the hedge fund route, you can't make $10 million a year from trading with the current setup. So you eventually reach a cap, a very good cap, but it's a limitation nonetheless. And in your 20s, you've got your whole life ahead of you. Growth, feeling like you want to grow, is normal. Then there's level 2, which is just cash flow business. And there's various forms, and usually people look to the industry to do it. Level 3 is certain guests that I've had on, and the ones that come to mind is like Owen, who's hundreds of millions of dollars in net worth. Umar Ashraf, who's again up there in $100 million range. I look at even just the founders of certain prop firms that are doing things correctly. I've had exposure to a lot of people that are on that level 3 category, that are hitting the $1 million to $5 million a month range. And then when you look at it from that perspective, you feel like I've got nothing. But when I was younger, I used to look at these guys and think, man, they must be like legends. They must be the biggest icons. They must be the geniuses. And they're just normal people, to be honest. They're hardworking. They have some skill set. They have some advantages, but they're not like what we think.
Superhuman.
And when you have that exposure, and I'm sure you've had the same, you're just like, okay, they're just like me. The only difference is what? Okay, they have time under the belt. Perfect. We can do that. They work hard. Cool, we can do that. They have good people around them to help them. Perfect, we can do that. But then the big things that I've noticed amongst the most successful people that I know is leverage in a team. Now, I'm not talking about a team of employees, of admin and editors. I'm talking like tech team. The most successful people that I know in this moment is people that have like 20 developers in their payroll. And all the guys that I know that have more than 10 developers are all making $1 million a month plus. That's not a coincidence. And a lot of these guys that are making that serious money have leverage of social media and tech. And that feels to me like a strong level 3 thing, but you can never do that at level 1. We can all look at Umar and these guys and be like, I want to be like Owen, but do you have the capacity to make 500K a month in payroll? Well, that's another question.
Yeah.
How do we get there? So the question I wanted to ask based on this money topic, because even though people don't speak about it, that's why we're all here. That's why we're all trading. I think we should talk about it. At what milestone of income, I know it fluctuates with trading, but in your bank account or, the region where you felt like happy, satisfied, comfortable with your living standard? Did that come at like 5K, 20K?
A month?
Yeah.
Comfortable living? Well, let's take it like you have rent, like 2K, 3K, you get something good everywhere. Then food, you can either, get food and cook it. So that's cheaper, or even going out. Let's see, 1K more, 4K. Maybe you want to buy a car, lease it, whatever, another 2K. I think around 7, 8K, 10K a month. That's the perfect. If you have 10K coming each month, you can live a very good life. I think that's the milestone. For me, I think 100K is the best point, but not because I'm spending it, just because I know that I can spend like 10% of it, and that rest just goes in savings.
And why does it? What changes from 10K to 100K income? If your lifestyle is the similar expenses, it's the mental peace you get, or
just the mental peace, nothing else. Don't go crazy with it.
I mean, that's the main thing. You don't get caught up in it. But okay, and did you feel like when you reached 10K, you were still hungry as you were when you were at the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Way more hungry.
More hungry?
Yeah, more hungry because
Okay.
you see it's possible. Like you see that possibility, and then it's like you need to push more, and get that level, and then you need to keep that level. Getting there for like a month is good, but then keeping it there is harder, way harder. Yeah.
And when you got to 100K coming in, did you feel more hungry or less hungry, or did you feel satisfied?
I had a moment being satisfied. It was like a month or 2 months, but now I'm more hungry.
How interesting, right? Because I'm sure everyone that's still at the beginning of their journey, they feel like, no, I'm desperate, I'm hungry, I want this. And I feel the same, man. I remember how I was when I was younger. Okay, I was willing and I desired it, sure. But now, man, now it's like game on. Now I want to do a million and one things, whereas before it was just one thing. I want to get good at trading. How about life as a whole? Because, okay, the money is there, but there's also so many other things that we can experience in life. Travel, meeting people. There's so many places that we could explore. Do you feel like you had more peace and happiness and real fulfillment in your life, irrespective of money? Or did money open up more doors, open up more fulfillment, all of these things?
Obviously, it opens a lot more doors because you can do anything you want. You can fly there, you can go meet people, you can go at any restaurant. It opens a lot of possibilities. You stop thinking about small stuff, and that just gives you more peace of mind. There's a study that says that most people don't become successful because 70% of the mind or 60% of the mind is occupied with, that survival instinct, that survival mindset. So, having the peace of mind of, I got this place to live, I got food on my table, I got where to sleep. And that's why a lot of people don't become successful, because they're stressed. They get into the rat race, and then it's like month after month after month. And why rich people become richer is because they have that extra,
like an abundance mindset.
They have more free room in their mind.
It makes sense. Like if you spend 60% of your mental capacity on defense,
and that's
on survival, then it makes complete sense. And I think that's why everyone that I know that's grown to a high level has never been like this. It's been like
you keep going up.
Steady. And then out of nowhere, 1-2 years, life changes very quick. And I think that's the snowball compounding, mental frameworks, all of these things coming in.
Especially as us as men, because like we're happy with living in a
we can live chill,
in a penthouse or living in like, you know, we're
man, my
happy
uni days, you would not believe. You would not believe, man.
Eating anything, wearing anything, we don't really care.
Yeah,
we can drive anything. It's like we don't really care. So that opens a lot of room for growth. We want to build, right? We want to be more successful, but it's not really about the money, is it? It's just about building,
growing and going,
being happy with the level you're being. And then the money is just a side thing that gets you more and more, like you said, doors to open.
Now, did you in your journey think about, or are you actively looking to take prop firm capital into a live personal account? Is that a transition that a lot of people glorify? Is that something you do?
Yeah, I talked about that last time. I didn't really do it yet because there was no need. Just a quick summary of what happened. So from that 6.7 million, bunch of prop firms shut down. I lost like 2 million through Forex funds, fund and engineer, and another 2 prop firms banned me for whatever reason. So I got
Bans
down.
Don't stop, huh?
Yeah. So I got down to like, now I'm sitting at 4 million, and that's been there for like the last 3 months. And I had this, because until then I was focused on growing the capital. And like 3 months ago, I decided like, let's just focus on this amount and just trade it every single month, like 2% or even 3% a month, increase my risk a little bit and keep the capital. And that's been successful because I've kept that capital for like 3 months now. Like I haven't bought a challenge in like 2 or 3 months. I feel like an addict,
But it's also like you have more peace. You're not worried about managing all these things and new rules and new conditions.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So I did a Twitter post just now on the way here, just asking people what did they want to hear from you. So one of the questions was when you're scaling to large capital, obviously there's the approach that you did, which was a fairly aggressive approach. But now looking back, was that the best approach, or is there better ways you could have done it to go from 0 to 1 million in funding?
If you think about it, I kind of was the guy that changed that thing because there was no one else, doing that, and that raised a lot of issues with prop firms, and a lot of prop firms actually introduced rules against that, against me. Yeah, because I kind of cracked the code. I was like, let me buy as many challenges because it's worth it, and then get the capital and then keep stacking it. And more people started doing that, and obviously we saw the changes. So that doesn't really work anymore. But yeah, looking back at it, that was the best approach in my opinion. Yeah, just go aggressive, scale up. Because back then, like it's crazy how things change in a couple of months. But back then, it was kind of safe to trade prop firms, right? And you had all these choices to trade with. So my mentality back then was like, there's no way I'm not going to get paid out. I pass it, I'm going to trade, and I'm going to pay it out, right? And that started to change, like bans, payout deniers, props shutting down. So it's a whole different industry now. Now it's crazy because back then people were going for prop firms with bigger discounts, higher counts, better splits, better conditions, and now people are going towards the safest prop firms again, like FTMO. They know they're gonna get paid out, which is a very interesting switch in the industry. But I think it's a healthy one.
Yep.
So it's a very healthy one, and I think that's the way. Because now the truth is out. It's like prop firms make money from challenge fees. That's a fact, right? There's obviously some prop firms that develop a booking and all of that, and that brings some sort of payout, which is good, right? Which is what I'm gonna try to do. But that's the model. It's still a good model for traders. Like you still get paid out. And I think the industry is going into an interesting place.
So I'm not that guy that is going to sell out and throw promotions at you, throw this link, that link. You've never seen it from me. But TradeZeller is a little bit different. This is a journaling software that I've been using myself for about a year now. And you've seen it on my YouTube videos many, many times, going back months and months. And because I'm friends with the founder, Umar, he's actually given me an exclusive offer to pass on a discount to you guys because I told him that it's a valuable gift I want to give to my audience. As a trader, it's very simple. You have to find an edge, and then you have to have a mind so you can follow that edge. But how do you know if you're performing correctly or not? You have to know your data, and TradeZeller is going to show you everything that you need beyond the surface level win rates and performance and equity curve. It's going to show you detailed reports. It's going to be your back testing tool, strategy testing tool, playbooks, notes, and it's going to be a full journal. It makes your journaling easier, faster, and more meaningful. Whereas if you were just documenting on an Excel spreadsheet or taking screenshots on your iPhone, you wouldn't be able to pull out the data that you need, the correlations that the AI within TradeZeller is pulling out for you. There's so much variety and utility within the software that I think it's essential for any trader. So the link somewhere below is going to take you directly to the TradeZilla website. I'm not getting paid. This is for you. If you want it, if you like it, go ahead and explore it, and probably you'll be using it for years to come. Now, when it comes to investments and all these things, I guess you're on that point of like you're still learning. That's an area you're exploring. But when you are in a position of you've achieved as a trader a large amount of liquidity, you've completed the first steps of the ladder that you wanted to. What were the choices you were considering? And obviously, you've now landed on prop firm as your choice. But obviously, when you reach a point of you have a lot of capital, it can be quite overwhelming because you get advices from family, which is just put it into property. You get advices from other people, it's like, bro, this meme coin, this crypto coin. Then you get advice from other people, it's like, always invest in yourself. But you think, how can I put $1 million into myself? So there's all these voices, there's all these ideas. What was your thought process to go from all of these ideas and possibilities, and the possibilities are endless when you have capital, to decision making and action?
Well, investing in yourself, you can't really invest more into yourself. But I didn't really have all these ideas coming because everything I did was alone, like all my progress. So I know I can trust myself and not listen to anyone. Like I've gotten advice, like I said, family, investment, properties, buy this, buy this. But I think my biggest advantage was just staying cool. It's like, let's just wait and see what happens in the world, what happens in the industry. Wait for the right opportunity, like this one happened with the prop firm, to start it, get capital there, and start building that. But other than that, I don't think I've had any. I was kind of looking around. Property was my first. I was like I told you before, I was like on this point of buying some property. But then I decided, it's like, is it really worth it? Not really, because I'm still young. You can still, you don't know where you want to live, where you want to settle down. Buying a property somewhere for myself is just going to get you stuck there. Buying to rent out, I don't think that's a very good business model, because you get your money back in like 15 years. Maybe a war comes to Romania or something, and same thing as Ukraine happened, God forbid, and it's like your money is down the drain. Crypto, put some money into crypto. I have a lot of money into crypto, but that's just going to be, just went up and down, so nothing really there. That's more of a long-term play. Other than that, no, because I've had a lot of life lessons, like this one with the car is like, don't trust other people, don't put your money into other people, just put it into yourself, or choose the people and they work for you, not, you give them the money to do something.
Yeah, so one interesting thing that I've noted is, it's annoying, man, but it's just how life works, is the L's, obviously the W's, the wins you take in life are getting bigger because leverage and growth, but also the L's get bigger, and they hurt every time. Like when I used to take L's, it would be like a couple $100. Now when I take an L, it's a big L. I'm not talking about trading. I'm talking about just like this car experience. You don't take lessons anymore that are 1-2K. You take big hits, and it can be mentally a thing. The other thing I wanted to touch on, because your journey is fairly unique, and you've had, because of your age and the exposure. So there's also the money element, which we've kind of touched on, but then there's also other things that are happening in your life. For example, the social media side, like more to say, you're becoming known, and there's awareness. Maybe people recognize you, or just that side of life. And then also, with money comes more doors, more contacts. And when you're rolling around in Bucharest and you have a diamond watch and a supercar, that calls attention, that calls maybe even opportunities. So when you're navigating that, what has financial success and trading success led to in terms of network and meeting people and these kind of things through social media and through the things you can buy?
Well, first thing, if you do that in Bucharest, the only people that are going to look at you... No, it's not that.
It's safe?
It's safe. It's very
no
safe.
No way, okay.
Yeah, it's actually very safe.
As in you would roll... I was saying it jokingly, but would you roll around in Bucharest with your...
Yeah, no issues. Yeah.
Is it because you're 6'7", or is
No,
for
it's
anyone?
very safe. No, it's
That's
for everyone.
incredible.
It's a very
That's
safe
incredible.
country.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I was saying that the people that look at you is just kids.
Okay.
So there's not actually, business guys looking, and there's not a lot of room to grow in Romania as a businessman, because most of them are old.
Okay.
So they don't really look. It's a different mentality than Dubai, for example. But yeah, so social media for me wasn't really, the whole reason I started social media was to actually get paid by prop firms. So that was a thing that I did. I mean, when I first started in Romania, it was just to show things like trades. It was just, I was very passionate about it. And then it was this whole platform thing. It's like I need to get known so that I'm sure that I'm going to be safe as a trader, right? And then, yeah, started YouTube, did well talking about prop firms, but just kind of I don't really enjoy doing social media. I hate taking pictures, videos, lifestyle, all of that. I just don't really like it. I like to be in my own comfy, circle. It's not a good thing because social media is amazing to grow, and like you said, network, and it did bring me a lot of attention from good people. Like I met a lot of high-end individuals like yourself also, so other platform owners. I met a lot of cool guys, and I really enjoyed that part of trading, like meeting other traders, other big guys in the industry. That's been very nice, and it did open like also this thing with the platform. It was because of social media, and I'm grateful for that, but also because of my results and the way I operate. And yeah, moving forward, social media, I can't be that, how these lifestyle guys are just posting every day 15 Instagram stories. I don't know how they do it, to be honest. I'm just on my laptop watching the charts, doing my community stuff, and then I want to do something else. Can't really have my camera in my face or have some guy coming after me recording. It's like, I don't
No,
really
it's not for
enjoy it.
everyone, but at least even if it's not your full personality type, you're growing, you're making something out of it, and you've seen that you can help a lot of people, and also in the end benefit yourself as well, which is absolutely great. Another area that is important is for traders when they're growing, they have like a lot of goals, desires, dreams, and they know where they are. So there's like a big gap in between from what they want, and probably what they want is a similar life to what you and I may have. And right now they're just right at the beginning. What would you say is like a nice ladder of step by step, like a 2-year plan that a new trader can follow to end up in a situation like yours?
Psychology is the first thing. Like reading, I've talked about that. It's like read tons of books about psychology and successful people. Try to educate yourself as much as possible, and you need to do a lot of self-reflecting. So when I was 17, 18 years old, I was imagining myself at this age with this success. So it's a lot of reflection to the future. There's a lot of tips and tricks with that. It's not only meditation, but something like that. It's like, imagine how you are in the future, what you do every day, your habits, how you operate, how you do what you do. Try to have that image of yourself, like the successful you.
Are you referring to like a law of attraction?
Exactly, yeah.
And
build that
in your belief, how
image
do
of
you
you.
feel like that works? Like a law of attraction, which a lot of people speak about. How have you found it effective in your life?
That's what brought me here. That's what I did, like for years. That's what I did. Just every day I was thinking about the same thing. Like our mind is very, very powerful. And the way it does things is amazing. Like if you experience...
Why do you think the law of attraction works? Why do you think it's so powerful?
Because our brain is very powerful. Like we attract things. It's like, I don't know, that's how we are built. It's very hard to explain.
What I'm more trying to get at is like, do you ascribe it to like God? Do you ascribe it to like the universe? Do you ascribe it to just energy vibrations? Or is it more like if you think and obsess about something long enough, you're just going to go and attack it? Like, how is that for you in your experience?
Energy, and also thinking about it obsessively is what brings you energy to actually pursue that. So I think energy. I'm not really a big religion guy. I believe in it, but I don't believe in putting names to it.
Okay.
I believe in energy and everything, and everything is energy. Like it's been proven. Everything is energy. So if you start attracting where you want to be in the future, it's just gonna slowly come towards you. So that's what I did. But I didn't really focus on, because a lot of people now they're gonna go home and think, oh, 100K driving a Lambo. No, it's about thinking how you wake up, what you do when you wake up, what work you put in, like that habits. That's what's gonna bring you success.
So the law of attraction you're more concerned about is not like 10 years in the future. It's about like the next week, what you can do.
No, not really a week. It's like a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Like the image that you want. Now, I had this image of myself when I was 18, and now I have the image of myself when I'm 30, right? So I'm now trying to go towards that.
I remember you said you wanted a supercar by the age of 25.
Yeah, 25, yeah.
So you thought, let's do it twice.
Yeah, 24. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but again, a life lesson. Maybe it wasn't meant to be, right? That's how I view things. Maybe I don't know, was gonna go in a car crash or something. So
No, you never know. These things are absolutely true.
a thing that I really experience in my life is, whatever happens for a reason. So I don't try to explain it. I just take it as it is. Like it happened for a reason, and try to move with the flow. Because that's the thing, when you have that law of attraction working for you, you're slowly drifting towards where you want to be. There's gonna be things coming towards you, and you need to be very open about everything, right? You need to accept it. If a thing happens to you, then you have to accept it. Don't really fight it. If you get what I'm
That
saying.
thing of which I believe is a muscle, and we have to learn and train it, is this ability to accept and move on. Because it's unreasonable for anyone to think they're going to go through life and not have big calamities and big problems and big things that really feel like the worst thing in the moment. And then you look back in 5 years and you're like, oh yeah, remember that time? And you just disregard it. But in that moment, it's the heaviest thing. And I think it's so important, and it's a skill that I see in a lot of successful people. We all take L's, we all have problems, we all have things that set us back. But the ability to not just like delete it from our memory, it's the ability to just not carry the burden. And we can still think about it, we can still be annoyed about it, but we're not going to carry it with us day to day. The ability to pivot and move on. So you mentioned you've done your younger self to your present self, and now from yourself now to where you want to be in 30, 35. What is that vision? What is the things you look at, think about, obsess over, almost like a vision board? What are those things that you're aiming for?
Have you watched Billions, the TV show? No, the stock trader. Maybe some people watch it, but it's like this big trading guy having a big trading floor and everything. So that's the image next. It's like waking up, going into your car, driving to your office, top floor, nice view. You have all these people working for you, happy people, they actually make themselves a good living, having a good team, having a good vibe, and just building stuff and helping people. And I think, because you said you've seen a lot of things among the successful people, and I also saw one thing with the successful people that keep getting more successful is the good intentions that they have. So I've seen that a lot where guys who go into a business with bad intention, so like a prop firm to just make some quick money, bad stuff are gonna come, and they're not gonna end up doing that business for years. They're gonna fall off. But I've seen that in very successful people. It's just they have good intention. They actually wanna build businesses to help people, not just profit out of them. And that's when a very fulfilling life comes. So that's another thing that I wanna have. It's like a very fulfilling life.
Yeah. Bro, well, we're still young. There's a lot of things to conquer, and I've seen how fast you've grown. What do you think is going to carry you? Because obviously now you've reached a level of success, and with trial and error, you've realized, okay, these things carry me. For example, it could be your work ethic. It could be, I don't know, whatever you think it may be. What do you think is going to be within you, within your control? Because that's all we can do, what we can control. The rest is up to whatever you believe in. What is these things that these are the pillars that got me here, and this is what I need to focus on? What would those things be?
Discipline, consistency, and being focused, and not rushing into things. That's the thing that brought me to this level, and that's what's going to bring me higher to the level. And I think that the age thing is an interesting one, because like 25, imagine 100 years ago or 200 years ago, 25 making this kind of money. That was impossible, right? It's crazy how the world moves, like how many successful young guys are now, not in trading, like in every industry. Like even now I see like 19-year-old, guys doing 100K a month. Like, it's crazy how it's possible. And we talk about, being like 40. That's how we talk.
They get younger. Bro, you wouldn't believe, I just recently bought this watch. And I couldn't tell how old the guy was. I was introduced through a mutual friend, another guest on the show that I had, Zain. He introduced me to this watch dealer. So I go to his showroom, nice showroom. He has his stock. It's in Business Bay in Dubai. And he's doing well. And he doesn't look like a young guy. And then Zain goes to me, guess how old he is? And I was, I don't know, 25 or something. He was like, he's 19. I was like,
how is that possible?
I mean, he has partners, investors, and mainly because he has a brand. He has a big TikTok account, and that brings him so much deal flow. And he made things happen. But bro, 19 years old, I remember me at 19.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Living in Dubai, making a business, making money, growing a brand. Like, bro, 19 is crazy. Soon we'll see 15-year-olds with
I get mad when I think about it. It's like, I'm 25 and I'm not,
That's the desire thing that we have, but it's also the power of like, this opportunity is here for everyone to grab. There's literally no excuse for anyone apart from just you got to turn up. You got to turn up and work. And the levels are okay. That's something else. But like anyone can make it for real. And I saw this thing which is such a great mindset shift for me. Well, not a shift, but like something that really stuck with me. Is like right now with the technology we have, AI, smartphones, the ability to travel, all these things, we are living as or even my younger self at university, just dead broke. I was probably living a better quality of life than the richest man on earth 500 years ago.
Yeah.
Because he might have been a billionaire, but I can at least take the bus.
Yeah.
I could at least take a plane flight from Spain, you know. And when you think about it like that, just the ability to have a smartphone, there were billionaires and trillionaires back in the day that would have loved and spent all of their money just on that. And now we have it for so cheap. And when you think about it like that, not only the opportunity, the access, we are wealthier in our reality than the richest man on earth not too long ago.
Yeah,
And that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then you open up the doors of the access you have to great people online to learn from, books, biographies of the most successful people on earth. Man, it's here for taking.
Infinite knowledge.
It's here for the taking. So I gather, are you a big reader on trading psychology, or just a big reader? You love to consume information?
I don't really read anymore, but back I read enough for my years now. So I was just reading psychology, to be honest. Psychology and marketing, some things about marketing, other successful people. Trading, I did read some trading books, but they're not really, good. It's mostly the psychology of trading that I got out of that. Now, what I'm trying to get into is more about history. So trying to read books about history and, Egypt, those kind of stuff that are not really explainable, like the pyramids and everything. Like there's a lot of stuff going on.
That's a cool rabbit hole to go down one day. So on this psychology extensive research that you've done and consumed on, there's a lot of things that, I've read a decent amount myself too, and there's a lot of things that are directly actionable. There are a lot of things that you think are useful that end up not being so useful.
Yeah, true.
And there are other things that you probably didn't think were so useful that ended up being important. And out of all of that information, in your experience, what were the things from a psychology perspective you found useful?
Well, that's true, because what I found is like from any books, like 15% of the information is actually something very good. So you need to read a lot to get some information in. The best thing, I can't really say, because there's been a lot of, mostly I think it's the law of attraction and how to program your mind. There's a very good book called...
The first thing that I actually started was drop shipping. So as a dentist, at the time a dental student, I started an e-commerce drop shipping store called Pearly Dent. And the go-to platform was Shopify. And the reason I used Shopify was because it was an all-in-one solution. I could get my payments sorted there. I could do my email marketing. I could do my website building. I could do customer fulfillment. Everything was in one place that it made a new entrepreneur starting that journey a little bit easier. So because you are a Titans of Tomorrow viewer, we have a special offer where you can sign up for a $1 per month trial at shopify.com/Titans. So go to shopify.com/Titans to start your first business now, no matter what stage you're at.
Atomic Habit or something like that. Like I can't remember right now.
It's James Clear, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know it. So I really enjoy that because it makes you help you rewire your brain to get over bad habits and create good habits. So that's a good thing to learn, like being able to control that, like, like smoking, for example. I smoke here and there due to stress, but I can just stop and not smoke for a year. While most people, they can't really quit for years and they're addictive. The addiction is a big thing. So learning how to control that while you're young, that just carries over your whole life. And imagine how much, the truth is you need to remove the bad things from unsuccessful people earlier. So things like controlling your habits, controlling your bad stuff that you do. If you learn to do that earlier, you're already better than 80% of people. Then you add, being disciplined, going to the gym, eating healthy, then you're in the top 5%, right? It's that easy. Doing simple stuff. It's crazy.
Bar is so low. Yeah.
The bar is so low, and then you start making 5K a month, you're already in the top 1%.
That's so true.
Make 10K, 20K, you're already, and...
So I mentioned that I went to Bali recently. So I didn't go for a vacation. I didn't go for like a sightseeing tourism. I just stayed in a villa. Literally the whole time I stayed in one place. And my thought process was, and I watched the Charlie Morgan video. I don't know if you've come across this stuff, but his idea was, and it's so true, and I never thought about it until he said it, is that we are all so focused in our growth, and in pursuit of growth, we always look to add into our life. I need to add this routine. I need to add this meditation. I need to add this team. I need to add this habit. I need to read more, learn more, do more. And it's always from an ad perspective. And he was like, that's great if you have a 1% mind. But it's like, you probably have a better ROI in growth from just removing bad habits. It's like, forget about journaling, meditating, and cold plunges. Stop smoking, stop doing this, stop doing that, stop watching TikTok for 3 hours a day, and all of a sudden you have time.
Yes.
If you stop scrolling on social media, wow, you have focus out of nowhere. So it's like, there's so many things that are very easy to do to just bring you to baseline. It was like, how are you going to get wealthy if you're in debt? Meaning to say, pay off your debts first. The debt referring to the bad habits we all have, and these things really contaminate our mind. And my whole purpose of the retreat was, I felt like for 1 year I have just been nonstop, and I've just been go, and I've never just stopped. So I thought, let me go and remove my phone, remove all stimuluses, remove the Dubai matrix, friends, remove everything, and just sit in a villa and listen to myself, listen to the voices, listen to the things that keep coming to my mind. And I'm a big advocate of that. I haven't done it enough to say that way of doing it is the best, but just this idea of removing from our life rather than looking to add. First remove, then add. And that's probably a more winning formula. The other thing of the psychology, so again, it's very vague and probably...
If I can say something about that, because we live in a world now where everything is going faster and faster and faster. Like you see, like everything is going fast. Content, people moving, everything is going fast. And it's a very powerful but simple thing to just stop, like you said. Like stop or slow down, stop. Just stop, let everyone go fast around you. And just look at the perspective. And that's when you're going to start noticing a lot of stuff. And you start, like you said, removing certain aspects like, oh, this doesn't do me any good. Let's just remove it, right? So that's a very powerful but simple thing.
There's many things I actually explored, and I don't want to say everything on camera, but one thing that I did notice is I hold such a big FOMO. And I don't know why, but my reality is... thanks to God and my family, is I'm in a very good position, and my younger self would have been so proud of me, like right now where I'm at. But I don't feel like that at all. I feel like I'm looking around at the people. I'm like, you're 19 doing that? Okay, well I gotta go. I'm almost at 30, and for me that's a big feeling. And despite what I have, I'm never satisfied. I'm never proud. I'm never satiated. I'm just always hungry, and that is a great thing as well. But it's also, if it turns into stress, and for me it turns into like a frustration sometimes. Like, man, I need to do more. I've got these million things I want to do. How can I get? And it's just a chaos in my head. That's not great. Another thing so I did a podcast out in Bali. I tried to stop, and I did stop for the first week. The end of the last day of the trip,
was too good.
Bernd was in Dubai. He was like, bro, let's do a podcast. And then I got busy again. But so I achieved it for a week, and then the second week was just back to myself. But I did a podcast out there with a guy called Darren Lee. And he was a very good host, and he got some weird things out of me that I never thought I'd share. But I want to share my vulnerability and hope that maybe you have something that comes to mind. So for me, success has been great, and I put the passion into people that are not there yet. That is totally worth it, and you want to at a young age just go and take a risk and go all in because it's worth it. And through that process, the traits we all want to have, let's say you want to be a patient person. Well, to acquire the traits of patience, you have to be tested. If you want to be in stressful situations, you want to be very calm, you have to be tested with stressful situations. So everything we seek is on the opposite. We have to overcome the opposite to achieve it. If you really want to be a profitable trader, you have to spend a lot of time being not profitable to overcome. You don't just wake up profitable. And which seems like common sense, but in that process of overcoming all of these things to gain the traits that you and I may hold, we achieve the goal we want. So I become patient, I become stoic, I'm okay with adversity, I'm okay with stress. Okay, wonderful. But what I've also noticed is it brings out a character type in me that is probably not ideal. What I mean by that is I'm very good at shutting off my emotions. So if I take a loss, bro, I don't care. And through like taking losses in my life, losing a lot of money inside of trading, outside of trading, going through hardship, going through stress, failing his exams at university, setbacks in life, I've become very resilient, and I've become very stoic, and I've become very calm. Adversity doesn't faze me, but I've also become very cold, I think. And in personal relationships, that can be an issue. Or what I've also noticed, I used to get very excited by the idea of a trip. I also used to get very homesick. I used to miss things. Now, both sides of that spectrum, I don't really miss people. I don't really get excited. I don't feel joy as much. I don't feel pain as much. And the side of pain, to turn off emotion, to turn off sadness, to turn off all of these emotions, we are able to control it through learning psychology, through resilience and going through things. But then the other side of the spectrum, personal life, family life, all of these things can suffer. And that's something I'm aware of and actively working on. Is there anything in your years of hardship, success, struggles, and everything in between that the non-glamorous side of success, social media, trading, XYZ?
Well, first of all, like you said, for every positive thing, you need to go through the hard stuff. So being profitable, like you said, you need to be unprofitable. There's certain ways to go easier through that, which first of all is understanding your mind, psychology. So you're prepared for those emotions that you are gonna feel. So then when you start overtrading a blown account, it's not gonna hurt that much, right? You kind of got used to it in your mind. Obviously, it's still painful there, but it's less. That's what I noticed. That's what I did. Obviously, you need to blow a certain amount of accounts to then stop blowing any. You still have to go through it, but it just becomes easier if you kind of prepare yourself. It's like a battle, right? You prepare before a battle, right? So you're more prepared to face things, face emotions. And once you face them, it's a little bit easier to take them in, which is, I think, the best thing. That's what I say always. Don't run away from bad emotions. Take them in, see how you feel, because that's going to make you not want to feel it again, right? So that feeling when you blow your account at 3 a.m., trading Asia, you're never going to do it again, right? Because you feel that pain. It's like, I don't want to go through that. I'm just going to close my trade before market close, right? But yeah, along the years, like you said, trading makes you a machine. That's the truth. Like, in order to be a successful trader, you need to be relentless, and that brings your emotions way down, makes you very cold and in family. And I've seen that affect me, as it has yourself and a lot of good traders. It affects your personal life by a lot, because you need to be emotionless. You need to be cold in order to be successful, because you're risking money. Like, you're risking 10K, 15K, even if you're risking prop firm or your own money. It's like a lot of money that you risk. You cannot be, have emotions. Like, you cannot be that. You need to be emotionless. And yeah, that's the downside of trading. But then there's a lot of upsides. So you try to balance it. You try to have a schedule and try to turn on and off, but it doesn't really work all the time, right? You can't have a bad trade or a streak of bad trades and then go be a loving partner or something, right? It's just, it's very
such
hard
is
to
life. So
transit there.
You mentioned that you are going to be a trader for life. Like you said a comment to that effect, and I'm undecided, but I love trading. I really, really enjoy it. It serves me well. It makes me a lot of money. But the way I trade is not optimal for someone in their 50s with a family. It's optimal for now. Like, it works great because I'm a bachelor and I've got time on my side and I've got youthful energy. I can absorb these emotions. But later on in life, I will definitely stop trading or trade in a completely different way. Is that something you feel yourself? Do you think you will always trade the way you are and you'll always be in the market? Or do you think you will eventually exit the market or completely shift the way to trade?
I don't want to be 80 trading in my bed. Yeah, it's funny. Trading, when you talk trading, is like there's a lot of trading to be done. It's not only Forex, right? There's stocks, there's crypto. Stocks is the biggest market. It's biggest than everything. So, but to trade stocks, you need a lot more capital, your own capital. So I think trading like Forex and the way we trade is a good way to accumulate capital fast. But then when you have a lot of capital, like I said previously, then it's harder to make more money, because obviously. And that's when I've seen a lot of bigger successful traders, trading stocks. Like, they put 10 million, buy Nvidia or something, they do a 5% gain. It's very safe place, but 5% is like a lot of money, right? So that's where I want to grow and accumulate as much capital as I can from this industry, and then use that for bigger plays. Because when you trade that way, like when you have bigger trades, you cannot trade 10 million in the Forex markets. It's impossible, right? But in stocks, companies, it's way easier. And you only need a trade every 3 months.
It's more
Right.
investing at that point.
It's like,
It's long-term holds.
exactly. It's
and,
investing, but you're making so much money from that investing because you have such a large capital, and also the risk is not really there because you're not gonna see a 100% move or something like that unless it's like a meme stock or something. So I think that's where I see myself in like 5-10 years, manage a big portfolio, but not just trading those safe plays. Like really have. It's not that hard if you think about it. If you have 100 million, you hire the best researchers. They research all these companies. They see, their earnings. These companies' earnings are gonna come. We're expecting a 15% gain.
I see the hedge fund vision now. The desk with people there.
Exactly. You see them working, analyzing, and you only need one good play every 3 months, a very good safe play. So of like buying Tesla or something like that, and you deploy your capital 20-30 million, and it's like 5% gain. You're done for the quarter, right? And it's just so much easy because you're not doing the work. You accumulate your capital, you grew your businesses, and then you manage that capital with those pretty simple plays.
Brilliant. To end off, I'm going to try something new. So I don't know who my next guest is going to be, but I want to try a thing where I ask you a question that I could ask my next guest. And it could be a trader, could be a non-trader, could be anything. But what do you think would be a meaningful question for my next guest?
Who would they want to meet from this life or any previous life? Like who they want to spend 50 minutes with talking, and what will they talk about? I think that's a very interesting.
It's a great question, and I actually want to know your answer before I close off the episode.
Well, for me, I think I don't really have anyone in mind now. I think I want to meet Trump, to be honest.
Oh yeah, okay.
I love Trump, and I think he has very good vision about business, so kind of want to sit down with him.
He's a ruthless man that made billions, so that's not by accident.
Yeah.
Episode. Andrew, thank you for hopping on for part 2. And yeah, as always, bro, wishing you well.